Arrivederci.
The money stolen from 72-year-old Ralph Raines Jr. would bankroll a life of jet-set luxury for his psychic bookkeeper Rachel Lee and his handyman Blancy Lee, posing as Rachel's brother.
Okay, we're gonna go see the Mona Lisa. Merci beaucoup.
And the shameless charlatans are enjoying the best of everything Ralph's money can buy. After selling his beloved tree farm out from under him, splurging the profits on $1 million home, designer clothes, expensive jewelry, and first-class trips to Europe.
We're here.
September 16th. We're here to.
There's our view.
Leaving Ralph with just one little piece of the tree farm they stole of him, where he lives in ignorant bliss with the one love of his life, a young blonde who he knows is Mary Marks and thinks is his wife.
Very good companionship. She played it well.
And now Mary wants to have a child with him, which is going to be tricky because they've never had sex.
No intimate contact at this point.
And this Virgin Mary isn't about to start now.
She convinces him to have a baby with her, but artificially.
An in vitro baby carrying Ralph's genes, or so he thinks.
He says, well, went in, gave him a sample, and put it in a paper bag and gave it to him, and okay.
And 9 months later, Mary presents Ralph with a baby boy they give the designer genes name of Giorgio Armani. So he thinks Giorgio is his through insemination.
Right.
Giorgio is the child Ralph never thought he'd have, and the boy grows up as Ralph's pride and joy, the apple of his eye.
He loved that child. He raised that child.
But Detective Stephen Floyd of the nearby Canby Police Department has a hunch there's something fishy. And not just in regard to little Giorgio. There was also the surprising sale of the $9 million tree farm Ralph had inherited from his father.
And I'm just like, this is just really suspicious.
Then there is the unusual display of prosperity at Rachel's little psychic shop.
High-end cars coming and going. They had a total remodel.
A curious Detective Floyd decides to dig a little deeper.
So I went subpoenaed the bank records from 3 or 4 different banks.
And he discovers that Rachel and Blancy have ripped off just about all of Ralph's $15 million fortune.
I think there was only $125,000 left in his bank accounts.
Armed with a search warrant, Detective Floyd leads raids on Rachel's psychic shop, along with the $1 million home she bought with Raines' family money. Among the evidence seized are these incriminating videos.
So we had a wonderful time in Petty. Now off to Monte Carlo.
Shot by Blancy and Rachel themselves.
Tomorrow, Roma.
Chronicling how they had wallowed in opulence and excess on Ralph's dime.
They just didn't care. It's not their money. They just loved to spend it.
Detective Floyd learns that Ralph had fallen prey to a notorious band of gypsies, working what's known as a sweetheart swindle, this one of huge proportions.
They went to some extremes to get this money from him.
Acting out an elaborate, decade-long charade masterminded by Rachel, who stole Ralph's money as his bookkeeper and his mind as his psychic advisor.
Yeah.
Aided by Blancy, who wasn't really her brother, as Ralph believed, but in fact, her longtime boyfriend and right-hand con man.
Blancy called himself the king of the gypsies, or the Italian gypsy. He would love to spend money. He was flamboyant with it.
But while Rachel and Blancy broke the bank, they also broke Ralph's heart. And the Best Actress Award goes to the woman who played Ralph's young wife, Mary Marks, for nearly 10 years, without him ever having a clue their wedding was faked.
We checked the records. There was no marriage certificate.
He believed it was a legitimate marriage.
Yes.
Her name wasn't really Mary Marks either. She borrowed that from her grandmother, Rachel's mom. Her real name was Portia, and, wait for it, She's Rachel's own daughter, who was just 18 when she was recruited to wear a blonde wig and glasses and speak with a British accent to fulfill her mother's psychic prediction that Ralph would meet the love of his life at an airport. So when you went to him and said, Mary is Rachel's daughter, Portia, what did he say?
He says, no, she's not. He didn't believe her.
When you said she's not from England, she doesn't have an accent, she's not even a blonde, what did he say?
He didn't believe it.
Giorgio.
Ralph would be even more devastated to also learn that his beloved son Giorgio, the boy he'd raised since birth,
Happy birthday.
wasn't really his son at all.
He was really convinced that was his son.
And Mary, or Portia, wasn't Giorgio's mother either. His real mother was Portia's sister, who loaned out the poor innocent child to enrich her gypsy family.
They paired it up to when Rachel's other daughter, had a baby. So that was Giorgio.
Portia had worn a foam baby bump to fake her pregnancy and conveniently left town so she could also fake the birth. What was the end game for that? To get the financial support for the child?
No, I think the end game is just keep him happy, keep him content, keep him separated from his family and friends.
Ralph is said to have been crushed, his life shattered, living without the woman and child he loved.
He almost died when it was revealed to him about her.
And I still don't think he's convinced that Mary's not his wife and Giorgio's not his son.
And amazingly, Ralph is ready to forgive and forget.
If they will be honest with me and upfront and be willing to rectify the situation, I can accept that.
But others are horrified by what Rachel and her family did to Ralph.
They're disgusting, and they should be in prison for the rest of their days.
That's not going to happen. Rachel Lee, 46, is now 2 years into an 8-year sentence she's serving in federal prison for fraud and other charges. Daughter Portia, now 27, has almost completed her 33-month sentence, and Blancy Lee was just recently released after serving 18 months.
Arrivederci.
The three were also ordered to pay Ralph a total of more than $30 million in restitution, and he's already received several $1 million in unspent stolen cash and recovered luxury goods.
We call these wildlife trees.
Enough for Ralph to get the family tree farm business going again.
I love planting trees. I'm going to plant lots of trees. And this is what I enjoy.
And his trees are the only family he has left now. I bet you can't wait to see this all grow and fill in again.
Yes, it'll grow. Yeah, I would like for you to come back here in 5 years.
That would be great.